We're going to go to Emily for the papers for us now. She's starting off with an anniversary for us. Not a nice anniversary, though. This is the deadly floods in Valencia. You can talk about the Spanish papers, first of all, aren't you?
Yeah, well, this story is on almost all of the Spanish front papers, commemorating the year on from those floods in Valencia. Now, ABC's front page is dedicated to the memory of the 237 victims whose names are all on that front page there. It says that a state funeral will be held in Valencia in honour of the people who lost their lives. Now, El Mundo, meanwhile, talks about a very slow reconstruction and the open wounds of the victims. It also features a personal story on the bottom of its front page. Two sisters who lost their mother in the floods are now looked after by their grandfather, Robert, who came over from Venezuela to care for them. El País headlines with Mazon on the ropes on the anniversary of the catastrophe, referring, of course, to Carlos Mazon, the president of the Valencian government. Now, opposition figures are urging him to answer questions about his management of the crisis. Mazon notably went out to lunch with a journalist for 4 hours in the afternoon of the 29th, despite being informed of the tragedy unfolding. La Vanguardia, meanwhile, says that the political circle is closing in on Mazon. Many questions remain about the timing of the emergency alert on the evening of the 29th. Now, the paper says that the head of the emergency services had asked authorities to send a message out at 6:35 p.m, but that was only shared at 11 minutes past 8, by which time most of the victims were dead. El Periódico is also looking at the management of the crisis. It talks about the 5 mistakes which worsened the chaos. It says that indecisiveness by the Valencia authorities and an underestimation of the storm and the flooding are the 2 worst failures in this situation. And meanwhile, even sports papers were commemorating the anniversary on their front pages. The Marca tabloid, their headline reads, "It was devastating." It shares testimonies recounting the reconstruction and moral repair of the affected areas.
Going to take you to Sudan for this next story. Extremely worrying reports coming out of El-Fasher following its fall to the RSF. What have you found?
Well, starting with RFI, they're reporting on this story. They say that abuses against civilians are on the rise since the RSF captured El-Fasher. Humanitarian groups have also reported war crimes as well as crimes against humanity being perpetrated against vulnerable civilians. But perhaps the most shocking headline and expressive title here comes from The Telegraph. It quotes, "Visible from space, Sudan's bloodied sands expose a massacre of thousands. More than 2,000 people are said to have been killed in the last 3 days since the RSF took the city." Now, this article is looking at research done by a Yale Humanitarian Institute, which has been tracking the siege using open source images and satellite imagery. There's a photo, notably in the article, which says that they have found images which suggest human bodies and reddish discoloration on the ground, which you can see here. These are the reddish discoloration patches, and here are some of what they think are piles of bodies. They've also found evidence of systemic and intentional ethnic cleansing. Now, in France, L'Humanité calls it the largest humanitarian crisis in the world. This article blames foreign interference for the violence. The paper explains that on one side, the United Arab Emirates and Chad are supplying weapons to the RSF, and on the other, Egypt and Turkey are supporting the Sudanese army. Now, the article quotes Antonio Guterres, who says that foreign powers funding and supplying the conflict are as responsible for as the warring parties themselves.
I'll take you to Indonesia for this next story. A plan for a brand new capital seems to not be living up to expectations. What's this about?
This is an article in The Guardian. Indonesia's new capital, Nusantara, is in danger of becoming a ghost city. Now, this is a photo here of the brand new presidential palace that's been recently built. Now, the project was launched 3 years ago. It planned to build a new city to replace the polluted and sinking Jakarta. The problem is that since Indonesia's new president, Prabowo Subianto, took power, state funding has been reduced by half, and the city has stayed almost empty. About 2,000 civil servants and 8,000 construction workers currently live there, but that's a lot less than the 2030 target of 1.2 million inhabitants. Now, the article says that the new city experienced a boom at first, but then it experienced a bust. Many businesses which first moved there have now had to close because there's simply no one around, and the sparkly new capital is at risk of being turned into a ghost town.
And talking of ghosts, Halloween is fast approaching. Emily's found something rather spooky to look forward to.
Yes, this is news in Variety that the next episode of South Park is out on Friday, and it's going to be a Halloween special. This photo here features a sneak peek, a preview of what we could expect in the episode. It features Donald Trump and his lover in the series, Satan, overseeing the demolition of the White House. The episode also includes a lot of haunting and so on, so we have that to look forward to before the weekend.
Yes, we shall see whether Donald Trump does his Halloween greeting like he tends to do, the President of the US. Thanks very much, Emily. Emily Boyle with the papers for us on France 24. A lot more coming up after the break. In perspective today, we've got a real murder mystery that we're delving into, a murder that happened 60 years ago. It's a very well-known story here in France, but we'll tell you all about it. New research as well with a new book, and of course, all the latest news after the break.